We are Clay and Laura Hammac. We have been foster parents for about 5 years, and we've had 13 placements. Well, I've been in law enforcement for a little over a decade, and several years ago, I was assigned as a criminal investigator. I received a call from our dispatchers, and I was told to report to Children's Hospital. There was a child not much older than our child at home that was laying in a hospital bed, and she was just covered in bruises from head to toe. And it was about 3 or 4 days later, I got a call from the charge nurse that told me that the child had passed away as a result of her injuries. If this child had just been with a family that loved her, she would still be alive today. Laura and I began praying for emotional healing. It was a few months later, an opportunity presented itself for us to become foster parents. We have been blessed by this process. The children that we've had come into our home to date, at least 13 children, have been part of our family. Every single one of them have left something special with us. We've been there for first steps. We've been there for first words. And so it's a lot of fun to have those opportunities, to have those memories with these small children. Yeah, we chose the Alabama Baptist Children's Home for the biggest reason: it was faith-based.
When we got there, we knew immediately, this is where God wanted you to be. And we're sitting there and getting our paperwork and meeting the folks around us, and I just remember both of us, I think, looked at each other and just had this peace. This is where we need to be.
The ultimate goal is living on mission and trying to minister to these children, but ultimately to reunite them with family. Obviously, that's not always going to be the best case scenario for every child, but our caseworkers know that. They recognize that, and they have the wisdom and discernment to kind of prepare us for that journey.
When they come and visit each month, they're not just there to see their case, they're there to see our family. And I think for us, that is so comforting because it makes it feel like you're not quite so alone. One of the other difficulties is preparing our children to say goodbye because they're so young. And I think that's one thing that I have relied on our social workers for, is giving us the tools to prepare them and have those conversations before they're just abruptly gone.
But they need to know that there's also security in this family unit. But they are part of this family, and they're safe and they're sound and they're not going anywhere. Since they have that affirmation, as they get older and more mature in their spiritual walk, they're able to walk alongside with us and also live on mission like we're doing, to also invest in these children's lives as the years go on. Our church family knows our story. They offer mentorship to us. They offer guidance whenever we're going through challenges with this process of saying goodbye sometimes. And so it's nice to have a church family that you can lean on and that you can share this journey with.
I think it's biblical. I think that God calls us to do this. I think God calls us all to do it in some way. And I think that's one of the biggest pieces where I feel like we lose people is they think, well, I can't open my home full time for someone. And no, we're all called to do it. You may not be called to open your home, but you're called to do something.
If we do not make ourselves available as a body of believers to reach out and care for these children, minister to these children, and by God's grace, hopefully reunite them with family and invest in that family, then who will?